Hello everybody, I'm SJM. This is episode 13 of our TFC R2 playthrough. So in between episodes, I died. So as I said, I was going to head out and do some exploration, so I went down in this direction here. Great news is that when I found wild crops out there, they hadn't died because it's winter time, so I was able to gather up quite a bit of food, hopefully to get us through the winter. I found a bunch of garlic, I found maize, more oats, more wheat, and a bunch of jute, and sheep. So then I killed off quite a few sheep while I was out there, got their meat, and then this was from a direwolf that was hanging around my base. I updated the pack up to version 13 now, beta 13, so we're there. And then I found the ultimate year-round food. It's ginseng. So this thing, I grabbed a few while I was out there. It's got some fruit and vegetable matter to it, and it also gives you some water as well, and it's also really good for replicating because breaking that one gave me 3, so now I can replant 3 more and get more food back. So if you're having trouble in the winter, ginseng will be your friend. But I found all that stuff out there, so I've got lots of garlic and meat from the sheep that I killed, and the oats and the wheat that I found to make the sandwiches. And with all the maize, I'm using that to feed the cows. So hopefully I can keep them going. And I should be on an odd number here. Yes, okay. So hopefully I can get them at least familiarized enough to get some breeding started, and I'll worry about others later because I think we can get more than one baby out of a single cow. So that might be all that we need is to get that going there. The other thing with all the jute that I found, I was able to soak it up and make the leads, and then I've got my first piece of automation. So I now have a horse grindstone. I had some llamas just over there, so I grabbed one of them and attached him up. If you're not familiar with the horsepower mod, it's pretty good. We don't have access to hoppers right now to automate it, but at least it will be a lot better than using this stupid kern. If I could jump back up in there, I don't have to stand there and use it over and over again. I can just put a stack of grain or whatever I want ground down in there and walk away, do other stuff while it's at it. So today's episode, we are going to be working towards leather. Because I had everything I needed before, but we're going to kind of need to get towards leather to get on with the next phase or the next tier of items in Terrafirmacraft, so that getting iron going. So to make not to make them, but just to speed up the machines. I use that with some air quotes for getting iron bellows. You're gonna want those to speed up the process there. So leatherworking is pretty involved. So we need to make lime water by putting flux into a barrel with 2 flux per 1,000 millibuckets. So each barrel holds 10 buckets. So we're going to need 20 flux, and that gives us our lime water. And we're going to throw in our hides and let that soak. So that's going to take a little while to do there. The other thing that's going to take a little while is that we need to make a barrel of tannin. And that's on the second page here. Prepare a barrel of tannin by sealing an oak, birch, chestnut, Douglas fir, hickory, maple, or sequoia in fresh water. And if we look up here, so the recipe for the horse grindstone, 2 leads, and you need regular stone, so you'll have to break it off with that method that I showed a little while ago, where you loosen off each block that's around a piece of stone and the one under it, and then it'll pop off. So that's how I got a bunch of stone to get that. Tannin here, so it says 1,000 millibuckets plus a log gives you 10,000 tannin. So I'm assuming that I only need one log in the barrel as opposed to needing one flux per, or 2 flux per 1,000 per bucket in to make the flux one. So we'll just go back here. So we've got our raw hides soaking in the lime water and wait. So I think that takes 8 hours, not 100% sure. I could look in, I think JEI's got it in there, so we could look at it if we wanted to. So then we put our soaked hide on a log, and we're going to probably go through a few knives scraping off all of those 13 hides that I put in there. So I've got a log set up there for doing that. And after that, then we take those, after we've scraped it off, we put it in the tannin, and then we'll get leather out there. Now, I guess we're supposed to have a picture of a bellows there. It's not linking properly for whatever reason. And then this will link you straight to the leather napping page, and actually I'm going to bookmark that so I've got it handy there. So then once we have leather, then we can start making some of the armor if we want. We can make saddle, a quiver, and that's all that it says there for leather napping, but there's probably more. Not 1,000% sure on that, but definitely going to be more uses for leather, actually. Yeah. Not that I know of. Also with the update, I seem to be moving slower. I'm not sure what that is. I thought it was because my small vessel here is very heavy, but it's not 100% of the reason why, so I'm not too sure on that. All my torches have gone out now, and I've gotten some of the wood filled in. I just haven't completed filling in all of my base here yet, and still don't really know where to get sand for the thing, because this is all gravel. So let's just take a quick look through JEI and see if there's, do we have to make sand maybe? No, that's definitely not it. So maybe I'm just haven't been lucky enough. To find, if I could stop double clicking. Yeah, none of this is sand that I remember. So anyways, when I do find sand, then hopefully I can cook that up and get some glass put in there to finish off this house. And yeah, I said I was gonna work on a building for tinkers after this, but actually the next building I do have to make will be for getting the iron going, because I'm gonna need a so yeah, I'm going to need a forge with a crucible, and then a blast furnace. May as well do it for getting it from iron and up into steel, because we're going to need steel to get into immersive engineering. So let's see, is this coming along yet? Medium soaked hides. So that 13 took 5,200. Can do the math on that and figure it out. On the top. Gotcha. Alright, let's see how long a knife uses here. Did I miss something on there? Right click to remove the hide from the log. Maybe I missed one somewhere. I'm going to pause here and figure out how to get it off, and I'll show you on the next piece of hide. Alright, well I did figure it out, so just do this next one here. And yes, we're going to go through a few knives to do all these hides, so I've made up a couple extra while I was waiting, and you just punch it off. So that's that. I'll pause it again while I do the rest of these 10 hides. And come back for this other soaking process. Okay, we're back. So I've got my scraped hides soaking in my tannin barrel over there. And I just want to check on something if I did. Oh, I'm totally missed step 4 here. Oh, the derpage. All right. So don't derp like me. We have to wash off the scraped hide in some fresh water. We've got a freshwater barrel here. Let's look at the recipes on here. So it needs to be, yes, a prepared hide, not a scraped hide in the tannin. And each medium one will give us 2 leather. If you use a small prepared hide, then that gives you just 1. And if you use the large guys, then you'll get 3 leather per large one. So totally my bad there. It's raining. It was snowing a second ago, but... so yes, the small guy that I had in there is done. So, and I found out that if you just kind of do it, there's 16 pixels on each hide. If you just like hold your right click, you'll like double hit some spots and waste waste durability on your knife. So if you just do it methodically, then you'll end up being fine there. So with the sheepskins that I got with all the sheeps, we actually can get towards some wool. So if we look at the use on here, you put your sheepskin on with a knife and you'll get 2 wool out of it. Now this is the Terrafirmacraft wool, not the Minecraft wool. So if we look at the uses on the wool, we combine it with a spindle, and that will get us 8 wool yarns. So the spindle is just a spindle head on a stick, and the spindle head we need to fire at brilliant white temperatures, which you can't get brilliant white in a fire pit as far as I know. The charcoal forge, maybe with the bellows, I'm not 100% sure, but typically the brilliant white is what we do with a pit kiln. So we'll need to put the spindle head in a pit kiln, and that's pretty simple. It's just a clay on a stick, piece of clay on a stick, and that'll give us a spindle head there. So when I get some enough up to do a full pit kiln, then I'll do a spindle and get towards my wool here. But yeah, the use on the wool yarn, you know, you've got some things here which seem decorative. It all kind of seems like decorative stuff in the regular crafting, but the horse press is one thing that I can't make right now because we need a hopper to make the horse press, so that'll have to wait until after we get into iron. But with the loom, we can put 16 yarn on there to get a wool cloth. So each hide will net us 1 wool cloth. And then with the wool cloth, we can finally get a bed. So that's pretty good news there. I didn't see anything else too notable in here. A lot more decorative stuff in there if that's your thing. Yeah, happy grinding out your wool to make decorative stuff. I'm gonna use it mostly just for mechanics stuff for now. So just moving forward in the pack. Just scrolling quickly through these, didn't see any other notable uses for this wool cloth, except for if we put the wool cloth back into the loom again. 4 wool cloth will get us 8 Minecraft wool. And the Minecraft wool does have some other uses. If you're doing the chisels and bits stuff, there you'll get your chiseled bit bag so you don't get your inventory spammed with all the tiny pieces. Cloud, not too sure what the cloud blocks are. Ear deafeners, obviously when you get into immersive, things will be loud, so that'll help with some of those noises there. Mitts, I'm not sure that there's bad effects from holding something, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure what these mitt things do. We'll find out when we get there. And then obviously the most interesting thing will be a backpack, so that'll be super handy when we finally get into gold processing. We'll look at the Terrafirmacraft gold. And so I'm not sure if I have to have the crucible before I can get gold melted. I could try putting some into a vessel and into a pit kiln and see if that'll melt it, but once again, not 100% sure on gold processing, because that's not one thing I've seen anybody else do yet. So waiting for that scraped hide, but once that scraped hide is done, as you've seen, then I throw it into the tannin barrel, and then out of the tannin barrel I'll get 26 leather, and then from there we can do leather napping to get some leather armor, which will be a good first set of armor as well. And then the other thing with leather that I saw, usage, not recipes, was where'd you go, piggy backpack? I swear I saw the piggy backpack in here. So piggy backpack. So this means you can right click on a mob and carry it on your back. So we don't actually have to necessarily use this carry-on mod, which makes you move really slow, gives you the slowness 2 effect. So you'd be able to go out a little bit further into the world and then come back at a little bit more normal pace. So that's another good use for the leather for right now if you need to get animals wrangled up and back to your home here. You can even do, I guess you could technically do 2 animals at a time, put one on the piggy on your back and then carry one with the carry-on mod, but then you would have that slowness effect for that trip. So that was everything I was covering in this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one.